The mission of the East Harriet Farmstead Neighborhood Association is to promote the aesthetic and long-term sustainability of the neighborhood and to strive to be a vital source for fostering a thriving and safe environment for residents and businesses. We see that mission being accomplished by having the association be at the core of a well-informed and engaged neighborhood. Fostering a sense of community is central to the work of the East Harriet Farmstead Neighborhood Association. This past year, we continued to build on our collective sense of pride of place in many ways. In January, we were fortunate to have a sunny day and solid ice on Lake Harriet for the annual Winter Kite Festival. Hosted by the Parks and Neighborhood Associations of East Harriet and Linden Hills, this event drew hundreds of visitors from both sides of the lake to enjoy gigantic kites from the Minnesota Kite Society, ice skate, roast marshmallows, and drink hot cocoa, as well as join in a rousing medallion hunt for the kids and ice fishing in the DNR tent. Several volunteers helped us out that day, and we enjoyed the musings and music of Mr. Kite himself. We're hoping for just the right weather for a repeat performance this winter. Lake Harriet was also the site of an Earth Day cleanup this spring, led by East Harriet and Linden Hills residents who handed out gloves, garbage bags, and coffee to early morning volunteers. A contingent of Barton students participated as part of the Bryant Beat Environmental Program, a longtime partnership between East Harriet and Barton School. Established in 2004, Bryant Beat helps educate 7th and 8th graders on important environmental issues. This year, 32 students studied a clean air curriculum and in May presented their projects at the Clean Air Fair. More than 50 people attended the event, participated in a seminar, and planted trees on the Barton School grounds. Support for this year's program was provided in part by a grant from Captain Planet. A highlight of this year's program was a denim drive led by 3 students. Did you know that recycled denim can be used for home insulation? Nearly 75 pairs of jeans were collected, and the students coordinated the promotion, collection, and delivery of the used denim. The Neighborhood Association continues to work with residents to maintain our urban forest. Last year, we kicked off a program to encourage residents to save majestic elms, providing a $200 rebate to those who immunize their trees. This is a great way for residents, the private sector, and the Neighborhood Association to work together to maintain the environmental health of East Harriet. Through yet another partnership, East Harriet participated with Hennepin County and the Kingfield, Carrig, and Lindale neighborhoods in the annual Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off. Volunteers greeted visitors throughout the day and handed out neighborhood information. The parks and environment have always been highest on the list of priorities for the residents of East Harriet. The Neighborhood Association will continue to reflect this prioritization with a Greener Rose Fest in 2009 by reducing non-recyclable waste and using a solar-paneled trailer for power. With resident input and public-private partnerships, we also expect to provide money to Lindale Farmstead Park for programming, supplies, and improvements. East Harriet brought back the Sale-O-Rama this year, setting a date in June for neighborhood-wide garage sales. This provided a great opportunity for residents to clean house and make a bit of money as well. Over 20 area residents created their own version of an outdoor market selling everything from kayaks, bikes, furniture, to that crazy whatnot you don't know how or when to use. While the Neighborhood Association has organized many activities this year, it has also been a proud promotional partner for other events in the neighborhood, such as the Mosaic Tile Mural Project at the Southwest Senior Center, Lindale Farmstead Park Sports and Activities, and the Centennial Celebration at the Rose Gardens. Another aspect of community which promotes the sustainability of the neighborhood is thriving local business. The East Harriet and Kingfield Neighborhood Associations provided seed money for the creation of the Nicollet East Harriet Business Association, or NEBA. After just 2 years, NEBA has built ExperienceSouthwest.com, a website that helps residents shop locally through its online directory of local businesses. If you want to enjoy a glass of wine with your dinner at a restaurant within walking distance, ExperienceSouthwest.com can help you find that place, whether it be in East Harriet, Kingfield, Lindale, Carrig, or Tangletown. NEBA was one of 2 organizations in the city that were awarded $50,000 through the Great Streets Business Facade Improvement Program. This will bring matching grant money for business facade improvements to the 46th and Bryant and 36th and Bryant business districts over the next 2 years. East Harriet residents can speak with pride of their contribution to the establishment of an effective, community-oriented business association. Well-maintained housing stock is another elemental component of a healthy neighborhood. The association continues continues to provide low-interest home improvement loans to qualified residents for this purpose. With the changing demographics, new home ownership models, and unsettled financial times, the Neighborhood Association will be reviewing the program to make sure it continues to meet the needs of our residents. The Neighborhood Association has continued to facilitate communication between Walker Methodist officials and nearby residents to address livability issues. After 2 years of hard work by all involved, residents have reported improvements on all of the original issues they raised. The Neighborhood Association is now working with residents to form block clubs within and around Walker Methodist to sustain these improvements. The Neighborhood Association continues to develop mplsblockclub.org, a website that allows block club leaders to electronically communicate with each other across the neighborhood. The association applied for and received a Gannett Foundation grant this year to help us further develop the site. A unique opportunity for block clubs was created with the closing of Lyndale Avenue this summer. Residents from both sides of Lyndale took advantage of the empty street to host memorable and even historic block parties. Introductions were made between residents from East Harriet and Kingfield who had never met before, and new friendships began. Bonds were formed that will surely endure long after the avenue reopens. The association took the lead in working with county and city officials and the Minneapolis Police Department on the Lyndale Reconstruction Project, providing advocacy and support for resident initiatives. East Harriet partnered with area neighborhood organizations to purchase Slow Down yard signs. Nearly 60 of these signs have been placed on properties in East Harriet. Working with our council members, a greater presence of police and traffic officers has been brought into our area to help with speed enforcement of the detoured traffic. Through the diligence of residents calling 311 and the support of the association, one of the 6 city speed wagons has been in the area from the beginning of the construction work. East Harriet maintains a Lyndale Project page on its website with the most current road construction information. This site has been acclaimed by not only East Harriet residents but residents in other neighborhoods as well. The positive results of stakeholders working together during this project are a testimony to the power and value of a strong community. Our neighborhood organization continues to be a key player in the process of the improving community engagement in the city of Minneapolis. With input from residents and working with neighborhood organizations in both the 10th and 13th wards, we have provided constructive recommendations on the city's proposal for future funding and governance of the NRP program, known as the Framework for the Future. After nearly 22 months of public comment and council deliberations, the city is poised to enter the next era of neighborhood revitalization and community engagement. Your neighborhood association has been a respected participant in the formulation of these important changes. Thanks to our neighborhood e-news and website, communication with residents is made in a timely fashion for a reasonable price. Pages like the Lyndale Project or Rosefest pages have received up to 220 hits in a day, and people have come to rely on the site for up-to-date neighborhood information. The e-news, which is mailed near the 15th of each month, is full of valuable East Harriet-specific information, and the mailing list has nearly doubled over the last year. A printed version of the e-news called Connects is also available at our local food establishments, the Senior Center, and the Farmstead Park. A presentation describing your neighborhood association's accomplishments would not be complete without reference to East Harriet's signature event, Rosefest. This annual summer event attracted nearly 1,500 neighbors, friends, and visitors to our neighborhood this past July. Taking place at Lyndale Farmstead Park in the heart of the neighborhood, it was co-sponsored by the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board, Lyndale Farmstead Park, and East Harriet Farmstead Neighborhood Association. Nonprofits, our local businesses, and elected officials also supported the event. Participants enjoyed inflatable rides, carnival games, a dunk tank, pony rides, and information booths. There was live music and tasty brats, burgers, and fresh corn on the cob served up by local celebrities. The Gardens of East Harriet tour, showcasing the gardens and grounds of 12 East Harriet residents, attracted local residents as well as visitors. Tours of the historic Theodore Wirth House were again made possible during Rosefest thanks to the Minneapolis Park Legacy Society and Theodore Wirth's grandson himself. Thank you to everyone who made Rosefest 2008 and the many other accomplishments this year a reality in the East Harriet Farmstead neighborhood. Through our shared experiences and our ever-growing sense of community, it has been another year where one can say with pride, "I'm from East Harriet."